It began on a December night in 1888, when the constables of London's East End forced open the cellar door of Lavender Cottage. No official ledger, no parliamentary commendation, no respectable reputation could prepare them for what waited beyond the iron grate. In the flickering lantern light, they saw the cage, welded from scavenged iron bars, and inside, a man crouched like some broken creature. He was gaunt, barefoot, his hair hanging in ropes across his face. A leather ledger was clutched to his chest, as if the secrets it contained were more precious than his own freedom. He didn't look up when the officers called out. He simply rocked on his haunches and whispered, "They are still listening." No one spoke as the lock was broken, and the cage door swung open with a shriek. His name was Samuel Cooper, a bookkeeper who had disappeared months before while auditing Mr. Foster's accounts. But Cooper was not the only secret hidden beneath Lavender Cottage. In the adjoining cellar, behind a false wall, the constables found cabinets stacked floor to ceiling with wax cylinders, recordings Foster labeled therapy sessions. Some cylinders were marked with initials. Others bore only dates. And the shelves continued into the dark, farther than any lamp could reach. While officers struggled to catalog the evidence, Foster himself stood in the kitchen above, methodically dusting flour from his sleeves. His expression was serene. When asked to explain the hidden chambers and the bound man below, he only smiled. "I have always done the work no one else would," he said. "Is that not why you praised me?" To understand how a man could operate such a place in plain sight, it's necessary to look beyond the orphan scandals and consider the broader web of influence that shielded him. Decades earlier, in 1861, Percival Foster arrived in London claiming credentials no one bothered to verify. His lectures on moral correction and the treatment of degeneracy drew the applause of social reformers. The press, eager for a savior figure, dubbed him the patron saint of the marginal. His ledger revealed names, hundreds, clients who paid for discreet treatment of wayward relatives, spouses deemed hysterical, employees accused of theft, witnesses to things best forgotten. One entry read, 3 nights. Correction. No record. Another. Extended observation. 5 guineas in advance. Over the years, Lavender Cottage became something between an asylum and a private prison. Those who entered were seldom seen again. When investigators searched the attic, they discovered the small brass phonograph. A cylinder had already been placed on the spindle, as if waiting to be played. The recording began with static, then a woman's voice trembled from the grooves. "If you hear this, it means he knows you are here. Leave now. He is not what he pretends." Her name was Miss Clara Bellamy, a welfare inspector dispatched to confirm rumors of mistreatment. Her last report ended abruptly, with no further correspondence. As the cellar was emptied, more compartments were exposed. Behind one wall, officers found crates of laudanum, restraints, and detailed journals chronicling what Foster called corrections. But perhaps the most unsettling discovery was the network of patrons whose payments funded the operation. Names that included prominent judges, industrial magnates, and members of parliament. The ledgers recorded each payment in meticulous copperplate script, an entire economy built on silence. Samuel Cooper, the man in the cage, later recovered enough to speak. His testimony revealed that he had been lured to the cottage under promise of steady employment. Once inside, Foster offered him a drink. The next memory he had was waking in darkness, wrists bound, forced to record every confession and punishment dictated by Foster's commands. Not all the rooms could be searched. Some were bricked over with fresh mortar, and others led to passages so narrow the constables refused to enter them. To this day, no one knows how many people disappeared inside Lavender Cottage. The final tally of names in Foster's ledger has never been released. Foster was arrested without resistance. When asked why he kept such records, he replied with unsettling calm. "One day," he said, "the world will thank me for preserving the truth." He was committed to Bethlehem Hospital pending trial, where he died less than a year later, reportedly by his own hand. Yet the evidence he left behind proved that Lavender Cottage was not merely a place of cruelty. It was part of a hidden trade in secrets. For every victim caged in those walls, there was someone willing to pay for their disappearance. In the years since, the house has stood abandoned, its windows boarded and its gates locked. But some say that when the wind rattles the cellar doors, you can still hear the phonograph playing, Miss Bellamy's voice warning those who dare to listen. This is not just a story of a single villain. It is the record of an entire society's willingness to look away. And the greatest question remains: how many others, behind respectable facades, carried out their own hidden corrections, unseen, unchallenged, and unpunished? In our next episode, we will uncover the hidden diaries of Miss Bellamy, recently unearthed at an estate sale in Sussex. Inside may lie the names of those who funded Foster's enterprise, and the evidence that could finally expose how far the rot reached. Thank you for watching Across Time and Crime. Subscribe now, and join us as we peel back the last layers of deception surrounding the Lavender Cottage. Because some stories refuse to be buried, and the past never forgets.